Welcome to Relationships Through the Looking Glass. While here in Wonderland, we're going to discuss topics and share stories to help clear up distorted views of relationships. We provide a safe place for balance and honest conversation. While each episode can help all who listen, the focus will be on the community of color. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the live episode of Relationships Through the Looking Glass. We are in season 3. We jumped off season 3 last week. I'm getting some really great feedback about that episode and a lot of kind of inside retroactive, well, not retroactive, but introspective conversation going on about therapy, counseling, self-improvement. So I'm glad that episode was able to trigger and be a catalyst to some of that for some people. But tonight we're going to be doing our monthly review for January. So we're going to be talking about our in-between episodes that we conducted. But before we jump into the review, we're going to jump into check-ins with our cast. So we have Chris, Keisha, and Nicole here. And we're going to go ahead and just go through the room and see how our week's been going. And, this is our monthly recap. So how the month's been for you. So we're going to start with Chris. Chris, why don't you let everyone know how you're doing? How was your week? How was your month?
The week's been pretty good. Month is long, like January normally is. It seems like we're already 2-3 months into the year. So I'm glad that this is the last weekend of the month, and hopefully February brings a lot, just a lot more, a lot better stuff. But I'm still, like you said, working on a few things. I do have a few things that I plan on releasing next week that goes into some of the topics that we've been discussing for the past couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. Sounds good. Can't wait to see what it is. We're going to jump over to Keisha. How was your week? Even though I kind of already know, but how was your week? How was your month?
My week is getting better. Started off pretty rough. Month as a whole has been pretty good. I am working on something that we talked about earlier with the masquerade ball. So I'll be giving out more information with that in the next couple of months.
Y'all, she's serious about this masquerade ball. She's like so serious.
I can feel your excitement.
she's like so serious. I'm sitting here in the back like, oh my God. Oh my God, is she really going to do this?
You seriously have months to prepare, Kim.
I don't know. Oof. I'm getting flustered just thinking about it. Wonderful, Nicole. How are you doing? How was your week? How was your month?
My week and month went good. And today I would like to honor my grandma, Mary. Today is her birthday. And so we've just been kind of celebrating and honoring her, doing stuff that she likes because she is style. So
yes,
honoring her today.
Dang, they were really excited about that. That cheer went on forever.
Right. She deserves it. She deserves
it. That's right. She deserves it. If she wasn't here, you wouldn't be here. So we are definitely happy for her and honor that. January. It felt like January went by real fast to me. Like it seems like we just came into this year and we're already done with January. So I don't know if that's just an indicator of how 2022 is going to be. It's been interesting on my aspect. This week was rough. Work-related issues was very emotionally taxing, and I'm still kind of exhausted from dealing with all that. But the month in a whole has been good. I can't complain. And if I did, it wouldn't change anything. So let's go ahead and jump into the recap. So with our recap, the episodes we're going to be looking back on actually is one of the episodes that Chris, this was his first episode he did with us. So who is most likely? Then maybe you're right. The Curious World of Online Dating, and then When Do You Know It's Time for Therapy? So going back to the first episode of the month, Who is Most Likely? That episode was hilarious to me. That episode was hilarious. Was there anything, and this is open forum, anybody can like chime in, but was there anything about that episode that was interesting or that you learned about your castmates that stood out to you, or what? Yeah, so who was most likely? What type of stuff came to the surface? Because this is when we were first feeling Chris out. So I don't know. Did you learn anything, Chris?
Yeah. Learned that Miss Michelle is a killer.
Oh my.
Well, not. I wouldn't say that she's a killer, but she has it in her to. If she needs to make somebody disappear, she will make it happen if she's
Oh
pushed
my
to it.
god. Everybody
So
everybody has it in them. Everybody has a little bit of killer in them. I'm just saying, like, I really feel this is an actual statement that can be proven. You just got to set up the circumstance,
okay.
you
No,
know?
I mean, like I said,
You hear
hey,
those
if that
crickets,
helps you.
right?
Like, am I weird? Like, I really feel at the right circumstance, you will kill somebody. Like everybody.
Not look,
Even
like
if
I
it's an
said,
accident. Even if it's
not.
okay. This is
I just
delightful.
won't get on your bad side. Let me just say that much. I won't get on your bad side.
Just don't mess with my kids. Like that's really the only circumstance. Mess with my kids or threaten my life. If you threaten my life, I'm gonna have to take you out. Like, if it's between me and you, it's gonna be you. Am I wrong? Like, I'm not gonna let you kill me.
Right. That's
No,
it.
I mean, no, you're
Thank
right.
you, Keisha. Thank you. I'm not gonna stand here and say, go ahead, because sometimes turning the other cheek could be deadly. Yeah, but okay, fine, fine. Moving on from that statement. Um,
Hmm.
What were some other things that came up in that episode? We knew Keisha could go on. She can have her own reality show.
Oh my God. Really? You think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What?
Hmm. Hmm.
Girl,
The
just
the
that
the amount of
bedroom
Rolodex.
had us
What?
felt
Huh?
like we were in cribs. You were showing me all the angles and the decor and whatnot. That's a show in
Oh
itself.
my gosh. Yeah. Well, I do like decor. That's what I like to do as a hobby. So decor.
Yeah, her whole house looked like that too.
Cancer
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was about to say. I know Key should be doing the shopping too.
Oh
Right.
Yep.
my God, Chris,
So,
it's it's like retail
Well, we know what
therapy.
we found out
So,
about Chris though.
so when I'm shopping, I'm not like spending a lot. I can buy like some nail polish, a file, some earrings, and that's my retail therapy.
Hey, it works. It's
Or
better than some other type of therapy, right?
right.
Right. And we found out about Chris about being the Mr. Man with the one night stand.
Oh yeah.
see,
Hit
that
him.
can't be proven. You know,
What's the shirt
you
say?
know, my mom listens to this. So come on,
Hi,
I'm a good guy.
mommy.
I'm a good
Hi,
guy.
mommy.
Hi, Mom.
You're so
I
awesome. You're
know.
so awesome, mom. But your son does wear a sweatshirt that says "Not here for a long time, just a good time." Or how does it go? Can you correct me, Chris? What does the
Let's
sweatshirt say?
let's
I
unpack
have a
that.
lot of hoodies and sweatshirts that I wear.
Yeah, let's unpack that one though.
Let's
Let's.
unpack it, man.
So what does
What do
that?
you want to pack? I mean, just here for a good time, not a long time. What's wrong with that?
Okay.
Hence, one night stand, Mister. It's cool.
Okay.
No, no,
At least he's telling you up
no.
front, ladies. Don't expect him to stick around for breakfast. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
That's all
my
I'm saying.
God.
So,
Hmm.
was there anything else about that episode that stood out? I mean, that episode was just funny. Darius from What the Shit podcast was on with us on that episode too. Um, it was hilarious to me. I mean, that's just one of the ones I'll probably go back and listen to laugh at. Like that one, the ghosting one, the one with my brother on it. Maybe I was the asshole. Those are just like funny ones. So if you guys want a funny episode, go back to listen to that one. Now, the next one was, well, maybe you were right. And that's when we talked about how sometimes people give us actual good advice and we don't listen to it and things happen. So, was there anything about that episode that stood out or that you guys kind of learned from or anything in that regard? Like when people give you advice and you don't listen, or, makes you think more about reaching out to people to get advice because it went south really bad for you one time. And now you're like, you know what? Maybe I need to actually ask somebody because me and Keisha are in conversation now about a situation. It's like the first time it didn't go good. So maybe I need to talk to somebody on this. So that's a learning experience. But did anybody else kind of pull anything from that episode?
For me, I want to say thank you, Michelle, for apologizing to me because I was like, oh, I think it hit me after the episode and then like re-listening to it to where I was like, oh, I thought you just didn't hear me, or, how some people are like, yeah, okay, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. So that's what I assumed was going on because I gave advice and then you went against the advice. So then when we talked about it during the episode, which we hadn't talked about it off of the episode. So I was like, oh, she did hear me. Good. Okay. So it was like I wasn't so stupid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I have a tendency. I hear
Dave
people.
wasn't stupid.
Yeah. um other parts of my brain were activated during those decision making
Brain?
process, and I kind
Awkward pause.
Right.
of I wasn't thinking with the all good parts of the brain. We're gonna move past that. But I heard you. I heard you, but the other part of my brain was like, but man, look though. But look. I'm sorry. I'm having a visual. But yeah, I heard you. And I guess it was more too, other than the whole the whole not so Christian aspect of my life. Uh yeah, I heard you. I was just in hopes that it would turn out differently. But I did hear you. So I'm glad I was able to clear that up. Hi, Levi. We see Levi here from the Forefront Radio. If you want to come up on stage, you're more than happy. You're more than welcome to do that. Just let me know. But Keisha, what about you? What about you? Uh Anything that you learned from that episode on the advice episode, solicited and unsolicited advice? What do you do with that?
Well, I learned to really look at who's giving the advice and process it. If it's somebody that you trust, listen to what they're saying, go back, process it. And if you know they're coming from a place of love, definitely you want to take what they're saying in consideration. So I've learned that. But many times when people want what they want or what they believe, they kind of bypass everything until it crumbles or they crash. And then they go back and start to think back on, the advice that other people have given them and all the warning signs. So unfortunately, that happens sometimes.
It does. And then you're kind of just sitting there like, maybe I should have listened. Maybe I should have listened. And what about you, Chris? Was there anything from that episode that stood out to you?
Yeah, and basically that all advice is not good advice. And sometimes the people who give the most advice is the one that give the worst advice. So just always listening to, sometimes you have to listen to the messenger. I mean, I'm sorry, listen to the message, but pay attention to the messenger as well.
That's right. That's right. And we have Levi, who's up again from the Forefront Radio. The episode we're talking about, Levi, is the episode about getting solicited or unsolicited advice or unsolicited advice. But either way, you might not have taken that advice. And then you look back on how the situation played out and you were hoping that, you know what, maybe I should have listened. Maybe, maybe I should have paid attention to what was said. Have you ever been in a situation like that where you had a situation where somebody gave you advice and you did the opposite and then it comes back and to bite you?
That's a great question, and I appreciate you allowing me to join on the show. When it comes to advice, I think a lot of times we sometimes don't discern the difference between someone trying to help us with information as opposed to criticism. A lot of times we get sensitive to criticism because we believe the person is trying to correct us as opposed to, someone trying to assist us in our thought process of what they're seeing, either logically or through some experience that they had. But to answer your question, I have had moments where I uh, was getting advice from someone and I wanted to take the advice, but the way they approached the matter caused me a little bit of frustration. To describe it, I was at a house warming situation and my child was being disruptive. And when they told me what happened, I ended up, talking to him and saying, hey, you need to fix yourself. You need to stop, whatever you're doing. I corrected him immediately. 2-year-old boy, they have fun. They jump around. They act crazy. That's what they do. So later on, like a week or two later, the same individuals that were there, some of them came up to talk to me and it was like, hey, you got to fix your son. You got to do this, that, and the third. And I was like, hold up, wait. I already did that. That's already done. You know what I'm saying? When I saw it right then and there, I addressed it, I squashed it, I disciplined him, made sure he was in order. But then when they came after the fact, I interpreted it as criticism as opposed to, them just trying to help me out, So that's my thoughts on that. What do you think?
I think that's exactly right. And of course, I'm going to agree with almost everything you say, being another INFJ, because it's a lot of times it's about how it's packaged, right? You can have the
Mm-hmm.
most amazing advice, but if it's packaged in a um, condescending way, you're not going to listen. And I've dealt with people who their advice might be solid, but how they delivered it was garbage or it was
Mm-hmm.
judgy. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm automatically going to tune you out. So I completely agree with that 110%. And I'm going to go ahead and plug the 30-day challenge, Levi, since you're here. Um, so I met Levi on the 30-day challenge back in October. It feels like it's been so long. Um, and for anybody who is participating in the season 2 that's starting next month, you really have the opportunity to build relationships that last. And we talk on a daily basis, right, Levi? We really share information. We help one another out. We work on each other's programs and platforms. So I'm just plugging the 30-day challenge,
Oh yeah, I'm
c4challenge.com.
about to recruit you to make my website.
Dude, I put so much love and energy into our website. I'm geeked about it. I'm geeked. It really looks whimsical, but enough to get the point across, but not too much to cause a migraine. So yeah, you gotta balance. But thank you
I,
for sharing that. Go ahead.
yes, I haven't had a chance to greet your other hosts, so I just wanted to say shalom to all of y'all. Thank y'all for having me on and everything, and I hope to look forward to working with y'all in the future.
Yay. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you adding to the podcast.
Yes, thanks for being here. Welcome.
So awesome. So the next episode, and we had Drew on the next episode. So Drew is another one of my podcast brethren from the 30-day challenge experience. And it was the curious world of online dating. The curious world of online dating. So that was fun. That was fun. What was awesome was to actually hear an online dating story that was successful. That was successful, right? Because you really don't hear that. And I've talked to Levi about this before. Like I just can't really seem to get comfortable in that whole realm of aspects because it just looks like you're sorting through meat suits, right? What's the best or most smashable meat suit? And it just feels so like
Definitely.
yeah, it feels like so superficial. And when we were talking about it, we felt like we were connecting on a whole INFJ level because we think really similar in that regard. But Drew was able to bring a whole different aspect to online dating. So I'm going to throw it back out to you all. And I want to actually say hi to the individuals who just popped in. Um, oh, wow. Kuma said he got married off a dating app. So that's another success story. if you want to come up to the mic and tell us about your experience, that would be amazing. But has anybody did anything in that episode stand out to you all, or did anything in that episode when you heard it you were like, wow, I look at it a little different? I want to start with Nicole on this one because Nicole was anti online dating. So was there anything on that episode that stood out to you where you were like, well, maybe?
Absolutely not. It just was more, just more confirmation of, there's 6,000 men or people looking to smash and not that many looking for commitment. And considering what I'm looking for, it's not on that app. So it was just confirmation of the reason why I'm not on them. So not really, it was good to hear. And I'm happy for the people that are able to find success on the apps. But for me, I don't think it's the right move for me.
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. We have Kuma, Cryptic Kuma just joined, and he said, or all I'm seeing is the bear. But I kind of already know. I kind of already touched base with you this morning.
Yeah.
So, do you want to kind of give us a little insight on your experience? Because I'm always eager to hear the positive experiences with online dating, and I'm so excited that you're going to allow us to kind of join in your journey.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And so glad I got to meet you. Shout out to all socials for connecting us in that way. Um, yeah. So I think my story started. I want to say, a week out of a 4-year relationship. I've always dated to get married, and I may be like a very rare case of black man, but like when I dated with a purpose. And it just seemed like here in Atlanta, like everybody comes here to play games. And I feel like women get it worse, but men get it too. Um, so I just took a chance. I went on OkCupid, filled out a profile. And funny thing is, the person that I matched with the most, we had already been like kind of connected in like semicircles. And I want to say 3 months in, like it got serious and just took off from there. So I
Was
didn't have to
there
wade through the
anything?
meat soup like you said. It was just
Yeah.
kind of I just got lucky, I guess, you know.
Was there anything that stood out when you first met her? Was there anything that, like, right when you talked to her, it was like an instant chemistry connection, or was it like a slow kind of like maybe?
Um she had the Prince shirt on and I was like, yeah, that's a vibe already. I
Okay, I have
always
a print shirt. Okay, so that's a vibe because I have a print shirt. I have a Pink Floyd shirt. I have all the shirts. So I'm
okay,
taking
okay.
notes. I'm taking notes.
Um no, I don't think there was anything too crazy on the profile. It was a couple of pictures, wholesome. I think it was just the luck of the draw, and it just worked out that way.
Maybe it was destiny.
So when you say wholesome, that means like, I don't know, fully clothed and no nudity.
Yeah, I would say that. And I make that a point because the young lady that I was engaged to prior, the break off comment was for me that I needed a good girl because it was very mutual. It wasn't like a toxic breakup. Um, but one of her remarks was that I needed a good girl, and that stuck with me into the next dating phase.
And you found it and it was happiness, right?
100%. Been 7 years since.
Yay.
Aw,
Congratulations.
I'm loving it.
Congrats.
Right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. I had to. I had to.
Aw.
That just makes off my whole heart happy. So does that help, Nicole? Does that help a little bit? There's some more
Absolutely.
success
Like
stories.
from what I gathered from that, it starts with your intention. So if his intention
Yeah.
was, what he was looking for, I would just want the healing between the two relationships to happen. But, it worked out, especially, the intention going in is what I'm hearing. And so That makes me feel better.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. There was a very short amount of time, which was a red flag for her. That was a concern in the beginning of the dating phase, but the caveat, at least for me, was I was already 2 feet out of the relationship, almost months, and but I think both of us were, and we just didn't want to call it quits because we were the try to make it work at any cost type of people, and the cost was like us just losing ourselves in this like cesspool, this whirlpool of a relationship. um yeah, so I definitely agree, healing needs to happen. But I think for me, at least, I was just already out. I was single in my head, just living with somebody, which is a whole other terrible situation to be in.
Oh yes, I can speak to that. Oh my gosh, that's a whole
Right.
episode in
Single.
itself.
That is single in my head.
We might be looking to connect with you, Kuma, on that episode because that's a whole episode in itself. Oh my gosh.
Well,
But
we're here.
yeah, that's an amazing story. And I think I agree with you, Nicole. I think it comes down to intention. And that's kind of what I learned from listening to Drew, listening to his experience, and like just listening to Kuma right now was you have to have intention. And I think if your intention is to get on there and joke around, that's what you're going to get. If your intention is to get on there for smash buddies, that's what you're gonna see. And I mean, if that's what you want, then and you find them, that's wonderful. But if your intention is to actually meet and connect, maybe setting that intention makes it that much easier. From what I'm hearing, and Keisha and Chris, because you guys are our resident experts in the area. Uh, do you guys have anything to add with that, or
Well, first,
I
no,
know.
I don't like the way you said that. A resident
I
expert.
know.
So
Me either,
I
Chris.
mean, like, I
Me
don't know if
either.
that's a good thing or a bad thing,
Oh
Keisha.
my
That's so
God.
Like
I
good,
think
isn't
for her to
it is.
say that, like
I
we're
think
like,
she's turning on us, Chris. I think
yeah,
it's all good. We got her.
yeah. I mean, really, should you be an expert at
it? At
online
dating?
dating? Because it's
Let's remind
no,
ourselves of
no.
the sweatshirt you have, sir. I'm just saying.
And look, man. See, no, we're not going to
I'm just gonna sip
bringing
my
that up. We're
water
not
over
going to keep
here.
bringing
Don't.
up the sweatshirt. But no. I mean, well, when it comes to it, like I said, just being upfront and open with your intentions. Hey, this is what you're looking for, and I mean, if you're letting know what you're looking for and it's genuine, then it's going to come to you versus trying to play the games, which I know a lot of people say there's a lot of games being played both by men and women. Um, but just being upfront, knowing exactly what it is that's going on, and eventually, hopefully, you get what you're seeking.
Okay. And Keisha, what about you?
I would say it definitely starts with the dress code, like what one of the guys was just saying this now. I mean, you can have up there that you're dating with a purpose and all of this good stuff, but if you're dressed like a hoochie mama, no offense to women who feel comfortable dressing that way, if you're
Facts.
dressing that way, you're not really showing that wifey material. So men a lot of time, because men are visual, many times men will they're going to come at you and approach you and conduct themselves based off of how you present yourself to.
Facts
So
on top of facts.
yeah, so I'm just, my profile is pretty much business, is business suits, whatever, because I'm not trying to attract someone who just, about some games. So when I am on the dating site, those are things that I do. And also, you don't want to be on there forever. For me, I may cut mine on and cut it off, cut it on, cut it off from time to time, just to kind of give it a break, because still meeting people face to face out here, as you network in day to day. I mean, for me, that's still the way to go. But it does open up the door to meeting more people afar, especially with social distancing and COVID and all this stuff like that. Online dating does help. So it's interesting. I
It's
think it is.
interesting. And how about you, Levi? What say ye? What say ye, Levi, on this whole day online dating
Hey, I
apps going?
agree wholeheartedly with what she just said. Like that right there is facts on top of facts. Like people are visual. People will look at you and determine who you are based on your appearance. Like I always give the example: if you see somebody with a badge and a gun, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna think he's a police officer. If you see somebody with a stethoscope and a white lab coat, you're gonna say either you're a doctor or some sort of medical professional, right? So then all of a sudden, you know, a individual will be provocative, revealing, stuff, and they're like, no, don't say I'm a streetwalker. No, don't do, no. It's like that. Get out. Like you can't figure out that dude is like, she looked good. I want to get that. Of course he's gonna get down like that. You know what I'm saying? Or on the female side, right? If you see a dude, you know what I'm saying, no shirt, tattoos all over, you know what I'm saying, really trying to be brolic, the thug, you're gonna think, oh, this is
With a
a
beard?
street dude.
With a beard? I'm
I know
just
that
saying.
shit turn on. Chill.
Does he have a
But
beard though?
for me, I'm a strong advocate for black love, for strong, committed situations with our people sticking together. So I commend my man Kuma because that's a big thing, man. Big up to you, bro. You
Appreciate that.
found a woman
Appreciate
that you
that.
could deal with. You married her. You made her an honorable woman. You know what I'm saying? And keep that thing strong. So that's my thoughts.
Could
Thank
I
you,
could I
Levi.
play devil's advocate for a little bit?
Yes, do it.
Yo, no, don't.
Yes,
All
do
right.
it.
Yo,
So
every time somebody say that for me, it's like, oh, so you want to be the devil now, do you?
nah,
Who wants to be Satan?
we keep it wholesome, but you know what I'm saying. Like I have to look at it for multiple points of view because pretty much my platform, right? We celebrate black all way around. We basically, I haven't introduced myself. I'm a game developer out of Atlanta, and my studio is called Nerdy Bear Studios. We make black games from black people, and part of that is a platform called Melanated Velma that is a sister brand, and we celebrate our black sisters unapologetically, no matter what shape, form, or fashion. So in that, we have to dissect where we are and look at it as such, right? We can't say, oh, she's dressed this and blah 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 blah. You have to look a little deeper. But I know when I was on a personal dating level, it made it easy for me to X out people when I was like, yo, I'm dating to get married. Let's not play these games. It is what it is. People that aren't about it, they get scared easily. I'm talking about almost walking off the date because they're not trying to get married. They're trying to have fun. If you come at it with that honest intention, that blunt intention, they may look at you like a weirdo, but you walk in your path with your chest full out. And I feel
I like
like
that.
if
I like
people,
that term. Blunt intention. I like that.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think less demonizing the people that are putting it out there. They live in how they want to accordingly. The people that are living intentionally, you just have to be better equipped to see it, right? And I know that's hard because people play games, but it became real easy for me. And I think maybe just when you get older, you see red flags easier. Maybe the hormones change, switch up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your goals switch up. But for me, like living intentionally, it became easier, and I was less worried about what people were wearing because I already knew. If this billboard is advertising a duck, quack quack. Um, yeah, so that's my little devil advocate piece right there.
Yo, Kuma, let me ask you a quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
What gave you that discernment, though, that the woman that you were dealing with was better than the other women that you perceived online?
I don't like the term better. I don't like the term better. Um, I'll say it like this. I was honestly 100% myself. I'm very dorky, very nerdy, when it comes to flirting and dating. Um, People that are out there trying to get the bag, they ain't trying to hear what I'm talking about. And that made it easy for me. I didn't take it as rejection. I just took it as that they're not for me. Um, the people that vibe with you the most when you're being yourself is usually the people you rock with, and it was like an instant connection. I remember to this day the line that I used, and I don't even remember why I used it. It was just like, I said, "Hey, I'm Batman." That was it. I didn't say hi. I didn't say, my name's Kuma. I just was like, "Yo, I'm Batman." And she just rocked off that one corny ass line. Can we swear on here? My bad.
Absolutely. Swear
Okay.
away.
Off that corny ass line. But you know what? That worked for me and that worked for us. That's our dynamic. And I think wading through that sea of BS, it makes it easier to avoid a lot of the crap. Um, it may or may not work for everybody, but it worked for me. At least that's what I can speak on the internet madness.
That's awesome. That whole story, the whole Batman thing, and because I'm a corny dork myself, so I can relate.
She's a
I can
Velma.
relate. So
She's a
that's
black
awesome.
Velma.
What did you say,
There you go.
Nicole?
There you go.
I said confirmation. She's a black Velma.
Okay.
I
Melanated
appreciate.
Velma.
Yep,
Melanated
I
Velma. I love it.
appreciate you using the term because now I have a visual for my friend Michelle.
A black who?
Girl,
What? What am I missing? What?
Scooby Doo, Velma
Velma,
Jenkins.
Scooby Doo.
Ew, the short girl with the glasses? Nah, I will not take that
Says the
title.
short
You know
girl with
what?
the glasses.
You know
I
what?
am not.
Do yourself a favor and visit the Melanated Velma IG page before you pass judgment.
Okay, I'll do
Her,
that. I'll do that.
that was an
I'll
awesome.
do that because right now I feel I'm offended. That is not somebody woke up and said, I want to be Thelma off of Scooby Doo. Nah, I'm not. Oh my God. We're going to move on to the next
She's
topic.
a sexy grandma.
Levi, did you just call me a grandma? Levi.
Nah, I'm just saying that the Thelma.
Oh, the Thelma. Oh. Like even
Y'all
the
want me
name
to explain that
sounds
too?
old. Oh, am I missing something? Y'all.
Y'all want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Yes, please
No, hey,
explain.
no. Look, no, hey, I'm telling you,
No,
no,
don't tell me. Please
no,
tell
don't
me.
do it.
No, please.
All right,
Dramatic.
so I didn't mean to come on and take over, but like, I'll make it real quick. Growing up, I had always liked the nerdy chicks, right? The nerdy kind of tomboy, kind of smart. So that personality for me was Velma from Scooby Doo, but like the women that I was going after were black. So literally, when I created this persona, creating my studio, I wanted something to be something that I love. And I was like, yo, melanated Velma. And I saw a bunch of like black women, you know what I'm saying, dressing up as Velma. And I was like, yo, the orange, the natural colors with the brown skin. Yo, this every time knocks it out the park. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Beautiful.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I mean, I'm saying if I'm gonna play that role, I'm gonna play it to the T's. I'm gonna make it look nice. You're gonna have boobies and everything. Like I'm just saying, it's gonna be a fitted turtleneck, a fitted. Okay, so moving on. Where are
Hey,
we right now? Okay, so the next
in the mystery
episode, and
machine.
thank you so much, Kuma and Levi, for y'all's input. Before we jump into the next topic, because it gets really serious from here. Chris and Keisha and Nicole, did you guys have any additional things you wanted to add? You cannot call me any names though. No.
Nah, I think we covered, we covered just about everything as far as for the last topics.
What I did here though is the dorky, nerdy, smart, intellectual girls. Like, there's a whole like group of people looking for y'all. Us. Yay! That's awesome.
To this
Very
day.
happy about that. They might call you. They might call you Thelma, but hey, I'm gonna look at the page though. I'm gonna look at the page. I'm going to that page. So the next episode that we talked about was, when do you know it's time to seek therapy? When do you know it's time to start doing the work for self-improvement? Um, I'm going to start with Chris because he really was a point on this episode that we really wanted to highlight, and that's men. And Kuma and Levi, definitely you two jump in as well. But how men are perceived when it comes to mental health, in that space. So, Chris, do you want to kind of just lead this part of the conversation on the importance of mental health when it comes to men, specifically Black men, and what type of things can be done to help adjust that viewpoint in that regard?
I'll just start off by saying it's all about one, being ready to talk about your feelings and really expressing yourself and being okay with the way you feel. Because a lot of times, as men, when we start feeling a type of way, then that's when we start shutting down because we're not used to being able to express ourselves, or we've always been told since a young age to not express ourselves. Hey, let's toughen up, man up, and everything to that extent. And then as we get older, I mean, you just keep doing it. So it's just getting to the point where you know how to express yourself and most importantly, who to express it with. Because it can be so damaging if you get to the point where you're expressing yourself to a certain individual and then how they react. That tends to affect how you then in the future will express yourself with other people. And it was a post that I saw earlier today on IG, and it was just saying about how it gave a couple different instances of with guys, celebrities who had basically were expressing their feelings, and they were turned into memes, and they were laughed at and joked about. And I mean, those are the type of things that men go through. Is like when you start expressing yourself, it's made out to be a joke, or I mean, you're made out to be a joke or made fun of, and you aren't taken serious. And then it's like, I mean, that makes it harder for the next guy to then express themselves. So I mean, it's just, I mean, we play a part in it, but then also our counterparts play a part in it as well. Just being able to listen and help us out when we are expressing ourselves.
Hey, you right on that, Chris. You remember that time that Tyrese was going through issues with his baby mama? Man, they was clowning that dude
Yep.
left and right. And
That
then Will
yep,
Smith,
that's
after
exactly
dealing
what's
with
on one of the
Jada.
posts. Yep, that right there. And the
Ooh.
crazy thing is, those are two of the people that was on the post that I saw, and it was saying how these guys are expressing themselves on it, and now when you see it, you look at it and it's a joke, and people find it funny, and it's like, yo, I mean, these people are really hurting in the inside. And instead of people comforting them, it's more so made of as a joke. So as me as a guy looking at that, it's like, well, why would I want to express myself outward like that to then just be put out there on the internet to be made fun of? And that's forever.
Exactly. I saw what happened to Will Smith, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. I actually had to make a meme, and I made a meme and an episode called "No Jada Formed Against Me Shall Prosper."
He really did. Y'all should check it out. Absolutely. Levi was, yeah, that episode was fire.
Mm, you hit on something. You know what? I think when we talk about this, like in our podcast chats with me, I like to call it like the black boy starter kit, right? Or the black girl starter kit. We're equipped with tools that are passed down, and some of them are good. Some of them are for our survival, and it works for us, right? But a lot of it sometimes could be a little toxic. Um, there's a layer of honesty we have to have when approaching this, right? How do we improve ourselves? Um, and I think we're taught at an early age to deny that honesty to ourselves because, like you said, man up. What does man up mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a male, right? I handle my business, but I'm hurting right now. And to say that, you're looked at as weak. And I think in our starter kit that's changing. It's changing with this new generation, but it became to a certain degree, it was a detriment to us. And then our society or our community was reinforcing that because that's what was taught to them as well. Um, So I think it takes time, it takes learning, and a certain level of honesty to know it's time to go to therapy. It's time to get help. I need help as a man, and to realize there's no problem in saying that.
Yeah, and I know far as with me now, I have a set of 8-year-old twins. I
Hmm.
have a son and a daughter, and I look at sometimes the way I treat my daughter versus how I treat my son, and I know far as recently, and I'll say in the past year, I've kind of had to change up the stance of that. Far as like, hey, when my son something happens to my son, and it's like, hey, look, man, come on, man, get over it. And then, but if the same thing could happen to my daughter, I'm like talking to her and, hey, just talking it through with her. Versus with my son, it's almost, hey, look, man, you're gonna get through it. It's no big deal. So I've had to, and that's something because it was instilled in me, but it's just
Hmm.
something that I know I've changed with my kids because, like I said, you learn those things, and once you learn them at that age, it just becomes kind of natural, and it's not right to. I mean, they should be treated the same way if they're going through the same thing.
Right, right. Like I said, it's a good term, or at least in my mind, when I thought about it. The Black Boy Starter Kit. This is what we're equipped with up to a certain age, right? Um, and some tools they work, some tools they need to be adjusted. And it sounds like to you, for yours and your next generation, um, you're equipping them with the right adjustment to that starter kit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Right.
book called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, but it's a really good book to look into as far as how to help our young brothers out.
Can I get what's the name of that again?
It's called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys.
Okay, I got
I'll
it right
put the
here. Okay.
title. I'll put the title in the pod description too. And this conversation is amazing, and I'm so excited that the gentlemen that we have on the platform right now are able to talk intellectually on the topic. So it's important. It really is, and we are really at a time, I think, socially, that people can now start to have these conversations and put action behind it. Just Chris's awareness of how he treats his daughter versus his son is showing that there's a change, right? Um, so thank you, gentlemen, for sharing that. I wanted to also say that people look at mental health a lot of times as a weakness, or are seeking mental health that you're weak. In actuality, that's some of the strongest things that you can do, to admit that there is a struggle and then say, I want to get help for it. That takes strength, instead of trying to ignore that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? um what are your viewpoints on that, and just both genders, when you have somebody who's like, well, I don't want to deal with mental health or go get help because it makes me feel like I'm weaker or a weak individual.
I'll touch on that briefly if I may.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't until I realized that I had a spiritual void that was causing disruption in my life that I was able to address what was going on personally. So I realized just black people as a whole, we have a identity crisis in that we don't know who we were prior to slavery. So there's a book called Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome, and the funny thing about that book is that it it literally describes PTSD, but for black people. You know what I'm saying? Saying that we go through the same thing as people that suffer from war-torn countries and military intervention and colonialism and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's the dynamic of learning how to appropriately deal with your issues without becoming overwhelmed by it. That was the thing that I addressed on a spiritual level, and that's what helped me to overcome certain things. I'm still dealing with things, you know what I'm saying, but overall I think that's what got me on the right track.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And on that, we're coming into closing into our hour. I want to say one more thing about mental health. And Keisha and Nicole, if you guys have anything, or Kuma, you have anything you want to add before we close out the mental health aspect. If you haven't listened to that episode, definitely check it out. Um, Full transparency, we are mental health professionals and we work in this field, but we try to make it in a space where it's done that anybody can understand the need, the concern, and that there is help and support out there. You don't have to fight and suffer by yourself. Like there's people out there who can walk with you through that experience. So don't feel that it's a weakness, or don't feel it's a situation that you have to ignore because of what people are going to feel about you. If somebody looks down on you for seeking help, they're not your people, right? Like if somebody looks down on you for getting support, that says more about them than it does about you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, you know, I think our this generation, you know, of just humanity, we're looking at it in a positive light. You know, mental health um is just as, if not more important than physical, right? You know, we'll look at some person and say, oh, you know, they're a very strong and put together person, but inside they're in shambles. And you know, when they talk to somebody, a lot of the people they talk to aren't equipped, they're not professionals, so you don't know what to tell them other than it'll be all right, you know, seek spiritual uh you know back spiritual comfort. But you know, there's nothing wrong in those avenues and having a wide net of support, but when you need professional help, there's nothing wrong with that, and that just really should be part of it. um you know, at least, you know, I lost my
I
train of
agree.
thought. Oof.
Well,
But
no,
yeah.
but what you said made perfect sense. Like it's also too understanding the source of the information you're getting, and how it's going to be assisting you through that journey. That's for mental health and everything. So that makes perfect sense. And on that note, as we get close into our hour, I do want to say I went and checked out Melanated Thelma. I did, Kuma, and let me tell you, I'm going to cosplay. So I'm look, our
Mm,
people took her over, and what, she is fire. I'm about to go out tomorrow and buy me a whole gear,
mm.
and then I'm going to tag it so it can be on that page.
I eagerly await it, and we will share, because
Told you.
that is the platform for
See?
that.
What? I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, all right, I can do that. Because I mean, I like my whole intellectual nerdy flow I got going, but I was
Mhm.
thinking of the chick in the cartoon when I went to the Instagram page. And for anybody who wants to check out that Instagram page, it is melanated Velma. Yeah,
uh yeah, melanated
Velma,
Velma.
Velma. So check it out. Like there's,
Appreciate,
it's nice. It's
appreciate it.
nice.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna absolutely link all everybody, Levi, obviously, and Kuma, all your pages too in the description. I thank you all so much for participating. This conversation was amazing. Was amazing. So thank you so much for your additional commentary in these topics. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to buy my costume and take some pictures. Yeah, you know what? I might even go ahead and design the character Kuma and send that to you too. I might work on her tonight because I'm excited. You don't give me some energy.
Hey, I'm here for it. It even got to the point where I threw on the turtleneck this past Halloween. I did like a play on Drake's album Certified Lover Boy, and I had the little heart haircut and everything. And I, you know, because Drake has the turtlenecks that he puts on, so it was nice. You know, I had the fitted pants and all that.
You
Um,
know, I'm kind of a huge Drake fan. Anybody who knows me knows Drake's the way to my heart. He's my
I,
favorite Scorpio.
I'm just hitting
That's
all the
that's a
notes tonight.
that's a whole nother episode though. That's a whole nother episode. My feelings about Drake. But we're gonna go ahead and get to wrapping it up. I want to thank everybody who came and participated, who's in the chat. Thank you all so much. Before we close out, does anybody have any parting comments they want to say? Chris, Keisha, Nicole, Levi, Kuma, anything you guys want to say before we close out? You guys want to let us know where to find you guys too, Levi and Kuma.
Uh, Levi, you want to go first, or
All right, bet. Well, I'm Afia Levi. I'm the host of the Forefront Radio. You can find the Forefront Radio on all streaming platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, all of that stuff. Instagram is the Forefront Express, and Facebook is the Forefront Media. If you want to reach out to me, my email is theforefrontblackmedia@gmail.com.
cool. Definitely get you plugged in. I am Kuma. My legal name is Lionel, but I go by Kuma. Everybody calls me Kuma. I am the founder and CEO of Nerdy Bear Studios, an Atlanta-based development company. You can find us on the easiest place is just nerdybearstudios.com, but we're also on IG, Twitter, anywhere at Nerdy Bear Studios. Our sister brand is Melanated Velma. We basically support, celebrate, listen to every week Black women. Oh, inside and out. We show positive imagery, tell stories, listen to stories. A lot of those stories we take and then turn into games. There is a game called Games for Black Girls that we're producing next year. And it's just a tale of a coming of age story of a young Black woman. And the stories that we hear through Melanated Velma are the aunties, the moms, the grandmas, the sisters, cousins that show up in the game, and they're guiding this young Black woman through her adventure. So, but yeah, Nerdy Bear Studios, Melanated Velma. That's where you can find old Kuma.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to connect today too. And I just threw it out there, right? I was like, you know what? Let me throw something your way and see what you think. So I'm glad we were able to connect because your brain, I love how your brain works. So this was a great way to kind of interact as well. So thank you again so much for being here. And Levi, we're connected every day. Connected every day. So everybody, thanks so much for listening. This is where we're going to close out. If you're in a place where it's cold, where most places are, you guys stay warm. And as always, you guys take care, stay safe, be well.